Hi, this is Peggy Clary of Clary Law Offices, one of our estate planning attorneys. And tonight's video discussion is to talk about a common probate proceeding called a summary administration. And as we've talked about in other videos, there's really two main types of probate administration. One is called the summary administration, and the other one is called the formal administration. And the primary difference between the two is really the value of the estate, and in some more unique cases, if the decedent has been dead for more than 2 years. But tonight's topic is really about talking about the summary administration for decedents who have recently passed, and the value of their estate, excluding the homestead property they reside in, is $75,000 or below. Now, as a quick refresher, remember when a person dies, the assets that determine if you're going to go through probate are really assets that are titled in the decedent's name alone. So if there's a jointly held account or a payable on death bank account, those wouldn't count in the calculation of the $75,000. Now, a summary administration is designed to be an expedited proceeding in our probate court. And in fact, unlike the formal administration, you don't need to hire a lawyer. It can be filed by any interested party. There even is what we call a self-help packet, kind of like a playbook of how to do it, available through our county clerk. So here in my county of Pinellas County, you can get it online or pick it up in person. In other counties, you can do the same process. And the key thing about a summary administration is I often describe it to clients like an Olympic vault. So if you remember that from the Olympics, there goes the gymnast running down, they do a handstand or flip, and they hop on this vault and they land. And the most amazing thing about this Olympic sport to me is I don't think I've ever seen a gymnast quit running halfway down and start over. And that's an important visual for the summary administration process because it is expedited. So from the time you file it, you have to do certain things. And that includes telling the court if the person died with or without a will, what are the assets they own, what are the debts or obligations that are owed by the person who died, what is the plan to pay those debts and obligations. And you also have to tell the court, I've done a pretty thorough search of these debts and obligations. And, for some, the decedent doesn't owe money. For others, maybe there's a few debts. For others, you're unsure. But there's a process in the summary administration to make sure that the court is fully advised of the monies or debts that was owed by the decedent and how they're paid. This is significant because a summary administration order is asset specific. So what that order says, who gets paid and how they get paid and who are the beneficiaries, is exactly what will happen when the court enters the order. And in the event later on there's another asset discovered or there's a creditor that emerges after you filed, just like the Olympic vault visual I gave you, you don't get to say, time out, let me add it on. You actually have to go back to the beginning and do the gauntlet again. So the summary administration, unlike the formal administration, really requires that you start the process with a good understanding about the assets and debts of the decedent. Doesn't mean you can't amend it later on, but to be expedited and efficient through the court system, I always like to tell my clients, let's think about the Olympic vault. Let's maybe take 4 or 5 weeks to gather information after someone has died. And that way, from start to finish, it can go very efficiently and smoothly, which is really what a summary administration is designed to do. Now, in some cases, just as a qualifier, there may be an estate that is valued below $75,000, but maybe there's some sort of issue that the streamlined process of the summary administration does not work. and therefore the court or even your attorney will suggest and recommend or require you file the formalized process and the formal administration. That takes a bit longer, a little bit more complicated, but unlike the summary where, it's very asset specific, very time sensitive, the formal administration gives you a lot of latitude and flexibility in dealing with issues that need to be handled, maybe such as a contested claim or maybe some sort of subpoena power that needs to be issued to locate assets. But remember, while the summary is meant to be easy, you might be required at some point to convert to a formal if your summary doesn't quite work out. So I hope this video was interesting. The summary administration for a lot of people is an easy way to distribute assets of someone who has died. If we can help you at Clary Law, we stand ready to do that. And we hope you have a life marked by dignity, civility, and respect. And thanks again for your time.